Just so you guys know, if you want to do this, I put these brackets in here to attach, and you can see I drilled a 1/2 inch hole in the bracket so it could move up and down, and then you put the screw in the top of the hole, because when you're pouring these, they're going to compress, so you want that screw to be able to move down, since this is on the footing and this can't move down. You don't want to just screw this to the ICFs. It will hold fine, but then the blocks can't move down when you're pouring it. So we just attach this on here with one bracket here, one bracket here, and since we have the two boards like they are, it kind of wraps around the side and everything ties together. When you tie this plank to the next one and here over there, it makes it so that this is really solid. You can see that this block actually moved down, and you can actually see the evidence of it right underneath it here. See that little line right there? That means that these blocks moved down 1/8 of an inch, or even close to 3/16, and that's why the screw isn't on the top anymore. That's a good example right there of why you need to put a slot in there to let it move. Ideally, a vertical slot would have been better, but it's hard to make those. This is easy. This is a 1/2 inch drill bit. Do it on the drill press. on this video, what we're going to be doing is waterproofing and backfilling this foundation at least to 4 feet just for now. So it's really important that we get this done now because everything's starting to freeze over here. We only have a few days, maybe possibly a few weeks of weather where it's above freezing during the day. It's definitely freezing at night usually. It's been below freezing almost every night, but during the day it does get above freezing, but not much. Right now it's about 40 degrees. It's not ideal to do this in this kind of weather, but it'll work as long as it's not frozen. So I've already started to prepare the walls to take the waterproofing. All I did was take off the foam and any little spots of concrete that I got on here, and then I cut down this flat. So once this is all cleaned off, the next step in the process is going to be laying a layer of reinforcement fabric down in the seams, like right where the plane changes right here. So this right here is the fabric reinforcement that you have to put down in the corners. It's 6 inches wide. This is a 75-foot roll. It's like a really fine type of material. It's not like screen, like mesh type. It's almost like, it almost looks like a roll of toilet paper. So the product that we're using here is called Semco Works. This is a liquid membrane. Basically what this does is it allows things to expand and contract up to, I think it was 1300%. It never like cracks. I'm not a fan of peel and stick. I think fluid applied waterproofing is definitely the way to go. A lot of people are going to argue and say that the peel and stick is so much quicker and it's easier, but I don't like the way that a peel and stick can wrinkle on you. Like when you're going around the corners, if you have one little wrinkle, then it can get behind everything. And once there's a little pinhole to get behind this stuff, then it can seep in behind the ICFs and the concrete. And I just think that a liquid allows you to see that you have 100% full coverage on everything. As long as you're paying attention and you're doing it right, everything's visible. So if you miss a spot, you can go back and just get it. With a peel and stick, you don't know if that's really stuck the way it's supposed to. You don't know if there's a wrinkle that's letting water in. The nice thing about a peel and stick is that it's quick. It's quick and you don't have to wait for it to dry and you can start backfilling. I get that, but a little bit more time and you got a better product in my opinion. Liquid will get in places where that peel and stick is not going to get to. So I got a 1 gallon container here that I'm going to work in just to begin, just to do the joint there at the bottom where I overlap the footing to the ICFs. And then after that I'll roll it on, and I got another 5 gallons of it for that. But it's easier to just go around at first with a paintbrush and use the 1 gallon container. This is an elastomeric paint, and I'm going to be using this for my roof too. This is what's going to waterproof my house. I may even use it on the whole outside of the house just as a waterproofing before I do anything else. That way I can leave it and then I can put something on it afterwards. But this stuff is UV resistant and they got a 10-year warranty on it unless it's got foot traffic, and in that case they give you a 5-year warranty, so you can use it on the floors too. The directions say to apply some of the fluid first, and then you wet set this membrane on it, and then apply another coat on top of that. what I need to do now is fill in all these little gaps here. And I was going to use some sort of putty. I have two different things I'm going to try out. One is this MH Ready Patch, and it's shrink and crack resistant, and you can paint over it. And then this is Flex Paste, which I've never used before, and we're going to try them both out to see which one works better. All I'm really trying to do is bridge the gap, and then I'm going to paint over it again with more of that stuff. So as long as it sticks to it and it stays, that's really all that matters. Yeah, this is all bridged in here. This is fine. I don't even need to do it here. But there's some places where it's like missing one of the pieces of the channel there. Just need to bridge that gap and then go over it again with the waterproofing. All right, so now that I got all my waterproofing done for the first 4 feet anyways, I'm gonna go ahead and protect this and then backfill it. So what I'm gonna use to protect it is 1/4 inch fan fold. And this is gonna be 50 feet long and it's 4 feet tall, so it's perfect for what I need. And it just gives it like a cushion so that the stone doesn't puncture the waterproofing. It's just an extra layer of protection, like cheap insurance. Now that I got that insulation on to protect the waterproofing, I'm going to fill this up with #1 stone, and I'm going to put it as close as I can, because really all I need is like a foot of #1 stone going all the way up. But that's hard to achieve though, because it's going to come out. So I'm going to fill it in layers. I'm going to put #1 stone first, and then I'll put a little dirt on the outside, and then more #1 stone, and then I'll keep layering it back and forth so that I don't end up using too much of the #1 stone, because it's kind of expensive. And then I can use some dirt on the outside. That way the dirt's not touching the foundation at all. It's only clean #1 stone, which is 3/8 with no fines in it. That way it drains right down through, almost like a dimple mat. I already have my filter fabric in there, and that's on top of #2 stone. And then there's a drain pipe around the outside, as well as the former drains there. So there's actually a primary and secondary drain. So I'm ready to fill this up. This is the area that my geothermal pipes are going to come out, right on these sleeves right here. These are 3-inch PVC, schedule 40. So I thought I would have that in already, but I don't, and I want to get this protected from the frost. I'm going to extend both of those out about 5 feet, and then that way I can put some stone right against the foundation, and I can have that all frost protected, but at the same time the sleeves will still be here, and I don't have to dig anything up when I go to put them in, because I'm hoping to put them in like in the next couple weeks. But for right now I need it protected from the frost because we're getting pretty cold at night here. So before I can get finished grading this all out, I need to run some utilities here. I got my incoming water sleeve right there. I need to run that all the way over to a pump house over there. It's a little less than 100 feet. And then also I have my incoming electric for the service. That's a 2-inch conduit. Alright, so most of this is backfilled by hand. Just got to do a little bit more down there, and then I can cover this up all the way. about 5 or 6 years ago when I put the service in for this property. The service is right there, and then I have a culvert pipe going across the road right here. So in order to put that in, I figured I might as well run the 2-inch conduit for the house ahead of time, and so it's sticking out right there. Because going over this culvert right here, I didn't want to have to dig that up, especially next to the power that I was trying to install for the garage. When I put in the service, what I was trying to do first is put service into that barn over there. So I ran a 2-inch conduit here, and I figured while I was doing that, I'll just run the one for the house ahead of time, just to go across this culvert. So now here we are ready to hook it up, and it's just kind of sticking out of the ground right here. I got one for the service, and then I got another one for like phone or internet. So I really need to get rid of this tree, but I really don't want to. For right now, I'm going to reroute it around this way just so I don't kill this tree. And so it's already gone about 80 feet from there to here, and then we're going to go about another 100 feet to the house. So I'm gonna call this good for right now. This is good until next spring. So really you need 4 feet, but it's to the bottom of the footings. So if you have 4 feet of wall plus 12 inches of footings, then you really have 5 feet. So I can really get away with it 3 feet on here. And that's only on a bad year that you'd get 4 feet of frost anyways. Otherwise, normally it's like 2.5, 3 feet. So it's nothing real pretty. Obviously this isn't the final grade, but it gets the foundation protected for now. That's pretty steep right there, but basically what we're gonna have eventually is it coming out like that. There's just enough there to protect it for right now. Over here, the fill's gonna come up about like that next year. There's the septic outlet right there. So we're gonna be about 18 inches above that, like about right here. Maybe a foot from the top or so. That's gonna be on all the front side here. And then once you come to this side, it's gonna taper from there down to 4 feet. So that's relatively where that's gonna be. And then once we run the geo in here, we can fill up this whole area right here. I'm just gonna put some, I just gotta put some stone right here just to elevate you up so you don't have to make a step up. I just didn't really want to spend too much time on this backfill procedure here because I have other things that are a lot more important, like pouring that floor, and even utilities getting hooked up is more important. I do have more fill to fill all that in, but I need to dig it out and transport it over here, and it's all in mud right now, so I need to make like a little driveway to it. So it's just too much to get involved in right now. That's why I didn't go any further with the filling up. I just got like bare minimum, but it'll work for now. It'll protect the foundation, and it'll allow the concrete truck to get a lot closer to the foundation, and possibly the crane if needed. I actually ended up using a skid steer a lot more than I thought I was gonna on this backfill procedure here. And it worked really well, actually. I didn't think it had quite the reach, but I made it work. So we have our materials to start shoring the floor that we're gonna pour up there. So that's gonna be in the next video here. I'm just trying to get that wrapped up before Christmas. But I needed to get this done because any day we could be a foot of frost on the ground and then I can't do anything out here. So I just wanted to get this all wrapped up first. So I'll see you guys on the next video.